So after entering Freddy, who doesn't have his box anymore, you go through this door into the utility tunnels. But this door, by the way, it specifically requires you to have Freddy in, regardless of what other security you have at any other point in the game. Meaning that only Freddy should be able to open the door, even though Vanessa is clearly down here as well. But all of the other doors require security passes even if you're using Freddy, which doesn't even make sense considering the fact that you're the one holding them, so Freddy shouldn't even be held accountable for the scanning of your security passes when you're inside him, and they shouldn't even be able to be activated. But, oh well, it doesn't even make sense why Freddy wouldn't be able to enter other places anyway. After entering the utility tunnels, you can see an endoskeleton crawling on the walls. We never see an endoskeleton do this again, even when they're trying to kill you later in the game. So how come this one can do it? I don't know, whatever. But what is it even doing here? There aren't any endoskeletons in an area like this. They're only in a couple of areas in the game, and this is not one of those areas where an endoskeleton, where groups of endoskeletons show up. So this one's just here on its own for some reason. And also, it should freeze when you look at it. And if anybody says that the endoskeletons only freeze when they see that you're looking at them, that obviously cannot be true because of the fact that they're still frozen when you walk behind them. Great job, Steelwool. You threw logic out the window for the sake of a jump scare.
Hello, little boy. If you're down here, say something.
She's down here. We have to go back.
Do not worry, Gregory. Even if we are spotted, you are safe with me. She would never suspect we are traveling together. However, we should still do our best to avoid her. If I am sent back to my room, we will never get to the lobby before midnight.
Please remember this exchange for later, because I will bring it up. But also, if Vanny is looking around for Gregory, who she specifically says is sneaking around,
And some kid is sneaking around backstage.
like not wanting to be caught, then why would she call out for him? That's just a way of telling Gregory, I mean, where you are, so that he can avoid you more easily.
My, do I always shout first. Just gives him a chance to run away.
I feel you are broken.
Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
No, I feel that something is wrong. I am taking you to the first aid station.
There's no time. I'm fine.
Great, so it's nice to hear that the thing Freddy said 10 seconds ago didn't mean anything.
If I am sent back to my room, we will never get to the lobby before midnight.
So he knows that there's not much time, and literally the next thing he says is wasting time, derailing the mission. Whose idea was this? After going into the first aid station, you witness Freddy and Vanessa have a conversation. And I've already referenced this conversation multiple times to discuss how some other things don't work. But don't worry, there is still stuff that this conversation has that I haven't discussed yet, because it gives us some new details that are still broken.
I already alerted the others.
What do you mean you alerted the others? Before we enter the utility tunnels, we can still see that they're in their green rooms not searching for Gregory. They're not doing anything.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
And once you think about that, you realize that Vanessa must have sent a message from down here in the utility tunnels to alert the other animatronics of the fact that Gregory is in the location. Meaning that she has access to equipment. She has a Faz watch. And you know what that means? Because she's on the security staff and they have access to the cameras, that means that she has access to the cameras. Because you can see them on your Faz watch. So, once again, I already said in part 1 that she should have already caught him because of the fact that there's the 24-hour surveillance sign in Rockstar Row. But now, with the details adding up this way, there is indisputable proof that she should have already caught Gregory and just didn't use the security cameras for some reason.
I told you she was after me.
I said nothing. I will keep you safe.
So, Vanessa just straight up teleported there. Also, Freddy and Gregory start talking loudly right after the character they don't want to get caught by left. And I guess we're just leaving the first aid station now. Gregory didn't do anything in the first aid station. He just entered it and then exited it. He didn't do any. He didn't. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He didn't do anything about being quote unquote broken, which Freddy said, and Freddy never calls up the fact that he's quote unquote broken again. This was just a forced way to make a conversation between Freddy and Vanessa, but you literally could have just had Freddy run into Vanessa while you were inside him because she doesn't know that you're in Freddy. You could have just had that happen. It's a simple fix. Do you even need me anymore? The writers on this game obviously didn't try.
These utility tunnels connect all the attractions.
We can go anywhere in the building?
Correct. Phaser Blast, Monty Golf, Roxy Raceway.
That is a straight up lie. The utility tunnels you're in only connect Rockstar Row and the entrance.
Guests are never allowed down here.
Oh, really? Then why did you put the first aid station down here? It's inaccessible to guests who might need it. You don't have to block my vision with most of the screen in order to tell me that I have low power on Freddy. You can just put a sound effect or something in the corner. Why would these staff bots be huddled around a broken staff bot instead of just doing a job like cleaning or acting in security? Who programmed them to just sit there? So Freddy runs out of power and is unable to help you until the next hour. And there just happens to be a recharge station right where he runs out of power. Yeah, okay. So we get a note saying that Chica has been eating garbage from the kitchen. So we know that from another note later in the game that it's a glitch in her system, like it wasn't intended from the programming. But if this is happening, and it's specifically stated to be costly, then they should either reprogram her or lock the kitchen doors at night. We know that they can lock animatronics out of places. They did it with Freddy. Freddy doesn't have access to every place in the game. So you should be able to do that to Chica. So do it. Do it, Fazbear Entertainment. I'm not going to go over the save your spot stations again. The criticism I said in the first video applies to the rest of them throughout the game.
It's Chica. Maybe I could distract her with something.
And thus, we are introduced to the most useless mechanic in video game history. You only ever distract the animatronics twice in the entire game, and this is one of those times. And not only that, but the second time, it introduces you to the mechanic again to make sure you know how to do it before you are under any threat. For the rest of the game, anytime you can distract an animatronic, hiding is a better option. So you have no reason to distract the animatronic. It is just an objectively useless mechanic. Look at this garbage! This whole building is a biohazard and should have been shut down! And what is this stealth system? Why is there a middle stage where a robot is looking at you? Shouldn't that just mean that you're caught? It's unnecessarily confusing and convoluted. You only need 2 stages. I know that horror is subjective, but I genuinely don't think the jump scares in this game are good at all. Way too slow and the sound isn't even good. I should probably stop complaining about the place being dirty, otherwise it's gonna get repetitive. The game puts up a tutorial card for running. Huh, I wonder if there's about to be a chase scene. Because if there happened to be a chase scene, then this would definitely ruin the surprise. Oh hey look, a chase scene. Wow. And I think this is a good time to bring up the brightness mechanics in the game if you go into the settings. Because I did what the game told me to do on my first playthrough and adjust the brightness so that the symbol on the screen at the time was barely visible. But that ends up causing a problem because instead of making the brightness of the screen go up and down, it shifts how far the lights in the actual game, like a lamp, like it shifts them instead for some reason. And that ends up making it so that when I actually followed the game's instructions with that symbol on the brightness screen, I ended up not being able to see anything during this section. So it was just completely unfair. And I had to change the brightness after that. Well, after I died the first time, you know, so that I could actually play the game. Great job, Steel Wool! Totally love you! The animatronic should have had no way of coming in here, considering that the places we see them come from are actual dead ends on the map when you explore this place later. Also, when Monty shows up for the chase, the camera automatically goes back to the position you were facing at the end of that cutscene, But when Chica appears, you have to manually turn yourself all the way back around. It's just a little inconsistency I noticed. Also, during this chase scene, you go up a flight of stairs, and that got me thinking, wait a second, does the amount of stairs stack up with the other sets of stairs that are in the utility tunnels? So I actually took a count and counted the stairs from each flight. In the flight downstairs into the utility tunnels, there are 11 flights of stairs going down. But then going up before Freddy gets into the recharge station, right before that, you go up 6 flights of stairs. And during this chase scene, you also go up 6 flights of stairs. So you go up more stairs than you go down. But you then end up in the entrance room floor, which is below the floor that Rockstar Row is on. Even though you go up more stairs while in here. Steelwool can't even do basic math right.
Well done, Gregory. You found a security office. You should be quite safe here. The doors were designed to keep our highly trained security staff safe in the event of an emergency. As long as the doors stay closed, which they will, as long as there is ample power.
Yes, you heard that right. Despite how far in the future FNaF Security Breach takes, the Fazbear engineers still don't know how to build doors that don't require battery power to work. Seriously? So you get the camera, which is problematic for reasons I explained in part 1, and...
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's horrible. Look at that! Okay, look, I am never, ever one to make fun of graphics. But look at this! This is the game. This is the game, is what this is.
Monty's stuck behind this door, which closed behind you while he was chasing you, but Chica's somehow in the hallway ahead. Why does everybody keep teleporting? How come opening presents with music boxes in them doesn't lure the animatronics to you? And to top it all off, you can just run right past Chica, let her notice you, and she won't be able to follow you through this door for some reason. Whew! Oh my god. That one, part 2, that was even more exhausting than the first one. I'm not complaining about making these videos, by the way. I like doing it. I'm just saying, it was even... There's just even more wrong with it, you know? Basically is what I'm trying to say.